delighted to launch our online global series called Daring to Leap. It's a series of conversations with corporations around the world and thought leaders on the subject of ESG and corporate purpose as the new business essentials. As part of these conversations, we're often asked about corporate purpose and what it'll mean for the not-for-profit sector. We're delighted to have as our guest today Daniele Zanotti, the CEO of the United Way of Greater Toronto, one of Canada's largest charities. Here's our interview.
What started with a priest, rabbi, two ministers, and a woman's advocate in a bar, and this is not a joke, in Denver in 1887 as a federated fundraiser has become, in communities across Canada and communities across North America, the largest funder of social services next to government. This United Way, increasingly the place where companies, individuals, labor, agencies come together to solve fiercely local problems. And when the world was busy pivoting, and I know we're all hating that word now, but when we were all busy pivoting from work to home, from face-to-face to Zoom, United Way was busy pivoting on the front line. In the GTA alone, our network of over 280 agencies, a network that's taken us 64 years to build, with donors and corporations and volunteers, pivoted all of their resources to the priorities of the community. What I've seen at United Way, that United Way that went from a federated fundraiser to now a community impact organization, rolling up its sleeves in community, is that gone are the days of September thermometers when companies want to write a big, literally a big check, take a picture, and pass their money over to you. Gone are the days when they want to go on a neighborhood tour, paint the wall of a shelter, and then go back to work. Sooner, we are seeing what I would say an active employee, a citizen, might we call it, within an active company. And it is this tension of employees, of consumers who are, I believe, fueling purpose in companies. Employee voice, customer voice, consumers calling for companies to connect with the communities where they live and work. And we know from research that connected communities have stronger GDP growth year over year. And so we at United Way have seen and heard and are now experiencing a shift from transactional engagement to long-term, meaningful engagement as a tool for real community change. The nonprofit sector, charities, no longer have a monopoly on good. The nonprofit sector cannot wait for the transactional donation or volunteer experience. Instead, I think the entire sector needs to open itself up to solidarity. And when I say solidarity, I mean it in the 1829 etymology of the word, which is a shared interest or a mutual responsibility. That we are not going to charity or fundraise our way out of these deep systemic problems, income inequality, systemic racism, sustainability, climate change.
Right.
We are going to have to meaningfully engage and make room for companies to bring all of their assets to bear. And we have proof at United Way that donors and companies want more than just a day of caring. But the donation is secondary to companies wanting to get involved locally in work that is meaningful to their employees and their future employees as well. You know, a great demonstration of the continuum of purpose of corporate engagement is our work in neighborhoods. About a decade ago, we released Poverty by Postal Code, which documented deepening, sticky, stubborn poverty in specific suburban neighborhoods throughout the GTA. And that at the same time, there was no social infrastructure. And so we reached out to corporate partners, BMO to begin, to help us with a check, with a donation, a multi-year commitment to build hubs, to build social infrastructure in those neighborhoods. And when we talk about change and so what, BMO said, what is the number one issue in those neighborhoods? And by far, consistently, jobs, economic development. There is across this city a checkerboard of neighborhoods that have and have not. And so BMO worked with us on what is now dubbed Inclusive Local Economic Opportunities, a 5-year, $10 million commitment. But what's unique about this is BMO said, more than the money, here's what we are going to do. We're going to bring 20 corporate leaders together, 20 of the country's top corporate leaders, to suss out what is it that only companies can do in neighborhood work. Because we already know at United Way what residents can do. We have proof of that. We know what agencies can do. We have proof of that in our social infrastructure. And this inclusive local economic opportunities is, I believe, not only a template of neighborhood revitalization, but I believe a template of purpose as we move forward. This place we love, wherever you are across this country, needs you. And there are other corporate and community partners waiting. I would say the time for daring is past. Now it's hurry up and join. We will look back decades from now and judge ourselves not only by how we treated our employees, so critical, what our bottom line looked like, so critical, but how we worked in and with community, the places where we are, where our families are, and where our employees are. And it is a moment to become a citizen, to become an asset to the community, and we need you more than ever.